Guten Morgen, lads and lassies, and welcome back to the YouTube channel. So today we're here at OWC, which is Orlando Watersports Complex. It's probably one of the most iconic wake parks. It's probably the most iconic wake park in the whole world. It was one of the first big ones. So much big moments have happened here in wakeboarding. If you ever watched any old school wakeboarding, you would have always seen people here. And I think the beauty of this place is that it's based in the heart of Orlando, and Orlando being the mecca of wakeboarding. Whenever you come here, you're gonna bump into a pro wakeboarder. It could be Shaun Murray, it can be Parks Bonifay, it can literally be anyone. Harley Clifford, Bob Sovin. These are all just people I've bumped into here. So that is definitely a big upside. But today's video, we're going to take a walk around the wake park, show you the cable, give it a little bit of a review, talk you through the good, the bad, some of the facilities, cost of riding here, and then if you're from outside of Orlando, flying here, hotels, all that sort of stuff. So hopefully you enjoy the video. If you do like this type of video, please make sure to subscribe, as when I'm traveling the world, I'm going to do my best to kind of review every little cable park I go to, just so it makes it easier for you guys when you're planning trips. Anyway, let's get straight into it. Okay, so to begin with, there are two cables here. Both go anti-clockwise, which means if you're right foot forward, it's going to be a little bit easier. There is a beginner one over the far side. It's not fantastic. I mean, it's perfect for beginners. It runs at a slow speed. The obstacles are really basic. I'll show you them now. So basically, as you can see, there's a small kicker on the left, small kicker on the right, a slightly bigger kicker on the other side, and then I don't know who that was, but anyway. Anyway, as I was saying, there's a small kicker on the left, small kicker on the right, which means beginners can kind of hit them and learn how to hit kickers, do 180s, even 360s. There's also a little fun box, which makes life really easy for trying your first ever rail hits. And actually, in the new year, they're going to make that cable quite small. So at the moment, it's a really big cable, but I have been speaking to the guys here, and apparently what they're going to do is they're going to make that cable smaller and put an Aqua Park in the middle. Aqua Park's taking over the damn world. Anyway, that's that cable. I won't go too much on about that. Now let's talk about the advanced cable. So again, this is a right foot forward one, and when you enter it, the first thing you have is two kickers, actually four kickers. So a medium kicker and a large kicker on each side. The kickers are really nice. The outside one has loads of boot, lots of kind of a good lip at the end of it. The inside one, the line tension is really nice hitting it. One thing I will say is, if you come here in the height of summer, the water actually drops quite a bit, and there's been a couple times where I've come off the kicker, particularly on the inside, and actually hit the bottom, which is a little bit frightening. But as a whole, kickers are really easy to hit, nice and user friendly, and if you are kind of an intermediate rider, you will enjoy them. But as an advanced rider, you can also do so much. I mean, so many tricks have been kind of invented here at OWC, so the kickers are pretty good. After the kicker, there is two obstacles. On the inside, it's a pool gap. There is infinite amounts of possibilities on this. It can be as easy or as difficult as you like. You can ride up and through it and ollie down the stairs, or you can do some crazy transfers, use it to boost over. Like I said, there's millions of possibilities on the pool gap. Okay, so after that, you've got on the outside a rooftop. Now, rooftop is one of the easiest rails, very mellow. I will say I've actually stuck a couple times on the up ramp of it, so maybe some wax would help that, or at least just make sure you've sprayed it recently so it's kind of fresh. On the outside of that, there's kind of a box where you can transfer up. It's actually beautifully set, so the kind of, what's the word I'm looking for, the transition from that boots you perfectly onto the second part of the rooftop. Then on the inside, you've got this wedge triangle thing. That thing is ferociously steep, so if you are trying to transfer from the outside in, it is easier than it looks. However, definitely go at it with ease, because it will boot you. And also another thing to say here is, at OWC they always have the tunes going, and whilst when you're filming a video it's not ideal, it is good for kind of getting you pumped up. You can hear it when you're riding, and I think an atmosphere is a big thing, and this park does do quite well on the whole atmosphere front. I have to say, I really enjoy it, and so far this week anyway, all the operators have been lovely, and yeah, it's just a nice place to kind of try new tricks. There's a bit of stoke around the place, really. Another thing is, behind me we have OWC's boat lake. Now this is out the back, and it is one of the most historic places for competitive boat wakeboarding. Worlds have happened here. There's been wake games, pro tour stops, every pro boat rider has won a contest here or had a first ever trick here or some sort of big moment. So a lot has happened here on the lake, and you can just book in and ride. I think they've got a G23 and another boat as well. The cool thing is you can book in with Shaun Murray, which I know for a lot of us is a bucket list moment. So definitely I would advise doing that. It is quite expensive to ride, I'll say that. A lot of places in Orlando are if you go to proper schools. It's definitely one to hit up because it is reliable. If you book in for 2 o'clock, chances are you'll get riding at 2, which is nice. A lot of places can be flaky. If you are looking to ride boat in Orlando, I think another good place to hit up is Freedom WakePark with Kobe, Tara and Mizuki. You can't go wrong there, and you'll definitely learn some new tricks. And then O10's another one. I haven't spent a whole lot of time there, but I've heard really, really good things with Glenn Fletcher. He's one of the best coaches out there. So yeah, those are kind of the best boat places if you do come to Orlando, but you have to come to the cable too because you'll meet some pro wakeboarders and you'll have fun too. Right, so after you come around the corner, you're greeted by 2 beautiful obstacles. So on the inside, you've got a relatively easy incline. However, it's kind of like a handrail, but there's 2 small ledges. Now for me or you, this will probably just be an incline and we won't do mad tricks off it, but I have seen the likes of John Dryling doing all sorts of kind of going from one bit to the next and doing all sorts of contraptions. Then on the right hand side, I can't remember what this rail's called. I think it might be the Nico van Lechenfeld, but essentially it is a wall ride, but it's also got a little pipe on the outside. This one's really fun. It's very, very slippy, and it's a great rail to kind of learn because if you fall off, you're not coming from very high, and obviously that wall ride, you can just like skip into the water. And this is one of those rails that for intermediate riders, you can hit it, you can have fun on it, but also like top good riders can do all sorts of creative like gaps into the down on the wall ride or whatever they like to do. So it's a really nice rail, and that's actually followed up by a little flat bar. It's nice, not gonna lie, it's a bit random on this cable park. It probably would be better off on the other park, but again, if you are riding over in this park and you're looking for something a little bit easier, it's a nice option. Very, very slippy as well. I'm all about the slippy rails because there's nothing worse than when you hit a rail and your board just stops on it and you get stuck. Righto, last 2 rails. Now on the inside, because I want to get to this one afterwards. So on the inside, you've got like a little wormy type rail. Actually brilliant fun. That's the first time I've ever hit one like that. I feel like it could be longer and it would be a little bit more fun, but it is a good rail, plenty of options on it too. It can be as hard or as easy as you want it to be. But then beside it, we have the world's greatest obstacle. And I genuinely mean that with all my heart. I feel like it doesn't get a lot of credit. So this is probably 15 or 20 years old. My first time in Orlando, I was probably 14 and this was here. So it's at least, well, that's only 12 years ago, but it's been around a long time, but it is absolutely brilliant. So it's called Nessie, and I think that's after the Loch Ness Monster in Scotland. But basically, I actually watched a documentary on that the other day, so random. But anyway, basically you can obviously hit the outside and ride the swoop on it, which is quite fun. But my favorite thing to do is to transfer from the inside up onto the top bit and then do any tricks off the end. The line tension is fabulous, the landing is soft, and there's just so much options. It's genuinely one of my favorite kickers. I've said it a few times on this YouTube, but it's not really a kicker, but it is like one of my favorite kickers for some reason. Another nice thing to do is to transfer into the wall ride. It works really well, and again, that can be as hard as you want. I've seen the Stuckey brothers do some pretty insane transfers into that. So that is my favorite rail at the whole wake park, and truth be told, there's been a few sessions on this trip where I've come and I've hit that probably 50 times and the other stuff like 2 or 3 times each. Okay, so the last few things that need to be discussed. Number 1 is the cable system itself. In the last review, we were in Mayan Wake Park and I said it had loads of pop. Now, truth be told, this one's a bit worse for wear. It's old, it's 22 years old or something like that. So it hasn't got mega pop, and it's not the tightest cable, and some of the carriers are a bit iffy. So I think like carrier number 1 you can't go on if you're gonna do air tricks. But I don't really mind that. I kind of let it away with that. Personally, I'm not a big air trick guy, so it doesn't bother me. Another thing that they have is they have these wave breakers in the middle. So it's really handy. What that means is a rider over here isn't sending rollers across, which you then get when you're hitting the kicker over there. So it actually makes a big difference. Big fan of when cable parks put these in. Definitely worth. An island would be better, but we'll take a wave breaker. Then the other thing to talk about is the facilities. So the restaurant here, Oh, brilliant. I was actually chatting to David, the guy who runs the restaurant here. Lovely, lovely man, but he's so into his food, and I had the nicest, it was like a panini. It doesn't sound very nice, but it was gorgeous. They also have rental gear. I think you can get slider boards as well. So if you're just here on a family holiday but you want to go for a ride, I think you can, if you're willing to pay, go and get a rail board, or a board that you can hit rails on. And what else do they have? They have an Aqua Park, which everywhere has. I'm trying to think if there's anything else I've left out. There's a pro shop inside. Everyone here who works here is lovely. I mean, I'm going to go ahead and say, is the cable park the best cable park in the world? Absolutely not. But is it a must come to? Yes. And there's so many places you can go nearby. There's so many other cables within Florida that you can drive to. There's so much. So I definitely advise coming here, at least spending a couple of days at it. You won't get bored. You'll have fun. And to be even better is, as long as you don't come here in peak season, it's dead quiet. Like, as you can see right now, there's one guy riding around it. It's currently December-ish. I think it's the end of November, start of December, and you kind of do have to wear a wetsuit, but it's not freezing, it's not absolutely Baltic, and it's dead quiet every single day, which is brilliant. And that is essentially it. So I hope you've enjoyed this video. Let me know what cable park you'd like to see me review next, and yeah, I'll see you in the next one. Thank you so much for watching.